June 29th, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 56. My powers have doubled since the last time we met, Todd. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I'm Todd Sturgill.
Gotta love a good prequel to ring in the party. Todd, we're shrouded...
I've been living in the prequel memes.
That's true. Todd, we're both shrouded in blackness here for people.
You even more so. Like, I don't even know where the fucking light's coming on for me, so.
The only light that exists, much like in my heart, Todd, is these small rays that are peering in through my window there. the things that can creep through my blackout curtain. No, I don't know. I just
that's probably what it is. I don't actually have a blackout curtain.
That's probably where your light's coming from. It's just funny because I was like, I wonder how dark it would be if I just turned off all. Because normally I have all the lights on when we record. I was like, you know what? We're going dark side today.
It's almost. I'm gonna be honest. It's almost like looking at a floating head.
Just sitting there like, yes. We're going dark side today, Todd. We have some dark side topics to cover. I have got some weight on my chest, but first I want to let you. I think you have a story for us.
Oh,
isn't that right?
I'm gonna go full dark side with this.
Oh shit!
How much I fucking hate Chicago.
Now, it should be stated that Chicago has its ups and downs, like any city.
Dude, this shit was ridiculous.
You bumped into last night on the way home from work. You saw its underbelly.
No, this is on the way to work.
Oh, that was on the way to work? No, I thought it was on the way home.
This was in the middle of me going to my other store.
Oh, Lord.
So, it was fine getting to my first store yesterday. It was after I finished up. I was like over at my first store for like 3-4 hours. And I was going to start traveling to my other store. That was where shit went wrong. Shit went sideways.
Oh, God.
So I'm walking. I take public transportation. So it's a Sunday. So it's already like Sunday. The public transportations are always a little off. Like the amount of buses running, they cut that shit.
Yeah, it's like not as busy probably.
And so that fucks people like me that work on the weekends.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I get over to my bus stop, and I look up at my bus tracker. It's like 20 fucking plus minutes. And I'm like, I ain't sitting here. Here's the thing with me. I don't like sitting still. I don't. Like, when I'm like actually like, I'm like, dude, I just want to get this. I wanted to get the day over with, so I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to start walking. If a bus comes up to me, I'll get on it. That first bus never made it to me. I made it to where I was. My next stop is basically I need to get to the red line. So I make it all the way to the red line station that I take. But here's the problem. Apparently, some asshole got trapped on the red line.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Got trapped on the red line?
I don't know the fucking details, but some asshole got trapped on the red line.
What?
And that completely fucked me up.
I kind of want to look this up. Keep going. I want to see if I can find out some details.
You might be able to, because I was on the phone. And the person on the phone told me, hey, I don't think you're gonna be able to jump on the red line. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? And apparently, some dude got trapped. And as they're saying this, 3 fucking fire trucks all go past me.
Wow.
And I'm just like, fantastic. And I couldn't even cross the street there. I couldn't even cross the street to even attempt to go that way. So it just turned into this whole situation where I'm like, okay, I guess I got to make it to Halsted then. Because my other store is off of Halsted. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm going this long reach around technically, if I knew everything was going to be so fucked, it probably would have been only a 3.3 mile walk.
Mm.
If I walked down another street. But here's the thing, I didn't know I was going to end up walking the entire fucking way. So I ended up like doing like a roundabout shit, and it ended up being like closer to like 5 or 6 miles or some shit. And so I got on the Halsted, and that was where shit was real bad. I was dealing with the remnants of the Pride Parade.
Right.
Like the street was like, they had like the gates. Like you couldn't really even like if there was a bus stop, I wasn't getting on it.
To like cut off traffic and all
exactly.
that.
All that shit was going on. Motherfuckers were twerking on the street. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Twerking on the street, still glitter everywhere.
I was just like, all right. Like it got to the point where I'm like, I used the gates to my advantage because they had them like kind of on the street. So everybody, there's like an ocean of motherfuckers. And I'm like, all right, cool. Jumped right on the street. I'm walking. I became a fucking I was rage incarnate. Just like, dude, I must have, like, you ever seen that picture of that bird being propelled through the air in pure anger? You ever seen that?
Yes.
That's me. That was me last night.
So you're having to walk through the remnants of the parade?
Like, just the ocean of people that are all still left over.
Oh, Lord. So you were like, it was almost like at the end of The Walking Dead season 1, where where he's like, Lee's got Clementine and they're covered in the guts.
Dude, it was bad. It was so bad because it was, and I saw a bus go past me too, and there was no stop, and I'm like, oh no. So it legitimately just turned into it. It's just like, all right, it was just, I was Lemony Snicket. It was a series of unfortunate events just fucking me, and I ended up walking the entire way to my other store.
Should have just taken an Uber.
No.
All of this could have been avoided. So wait, what I gather from this, because you actually sent me a message when this was happening. You're just like, I'm paying $20 for an Uber. I was like, shit. It would have been worth, if it were me, it would have been worth it.
I made that $20 though. I told you that.
Yeah, I mean, I understand you got paid for the walk and all that, but your body is paying the true price.
Oh, it definitely did. Like, dude, honestly, like, it hurt to stand. When I got home, it hurt. Like the stand on my feet, it hurt. It was bad.
This story is a better segue than you realize, because we're gonna be talking about Star Wars a lot this week, and I know what you're thinking. When you hear me say that, the past few weeks of Nerd Bourbon, you guys there've been a lot of Star Wars shit going on. Well, you're not wrong. Star Wars is in a weird place right now. It's been weighing heavy on my heart. But and so, I've been playing a lot of Star Wars games. I've been, talking about Star Wars a lot. We've been doing relapse on Star Wars and stuff like that. So I mean, there's been a lot of Star Wars content, but that's what Nerd Bourbon is. You know what I mean? Like, Nerd Bourbon is a capsule of the things that we're into. Yep. And the things that we're doing, and the things that I'm doing right now involve Star Wars. That's really what it boils down to, and it's something that I'm passionate about. And the reason I say that your story there is a better segue than you realize is because, so I don't know if we've said this on the show, if we've talked about this on the show or not, but Star Wars Celebration, they skipped this year. But next year, it is going to take place in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Next April. And you and I will both be going. It was just funny because, like, it all happened around the same time. Like, I was kind of like, I'm writing Drifter's Gambit and stuff like that, and I'm getting into Battlefront 2, and I'm playing these Star Wars games, and just, kind of really, like, striking my Star Wars iron while it's hot again and stuff like that. And I and then like they announced Celebration in Chicago. I was like, well, I have to go. It's Star Wars Celebration. It's happening in my hometown. Like my hands are tied. I have to go,
And so both of us bought those 5-day passes.
And I'm fucking glad we did, because they sold out within like a day.
Yep.
So the reason I say it's a good segue is as many people as were at that Pride Parade, there's probably going to be more at Celebration.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
oh no, I'm prepared to be another rage incarnate there.
Because, dude, I'm telling you, right? I don't know how they're gonna. This thing, if we go to the Star Wars Celebration and it is even halfway organized, props to them on some real shit because there is going to be tens of thousands of people. Think about it. This is happening in McCormick Place in Chicago, enormous convention center, the biggest convention center in the United States, right? Like, and the way these tickets have been selling out, like the 5 day passes sold out basically instantly.
Oh yeah, it's like
And
within
like
the next day it was like 90% or some shit.
it's like, oh, cool, good. I'm glad we bought ours.
Yep.
We got ours basically as soon as they went on sale. And no, but like the way they're selling out, that really tells me that that is going to be a packed out show. And I mean, I can't wait for it, but it's like, dude, be prepared for people.
Oh, I already know.
You know, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of waiting in line. You know,
But I won't be
already
alone.
No, we won't be alone. And we can bring our Switches. Smash will be out at that point.
Oh, dude, we're definitely doing that.
There will definitely be some Smash playing. Some, that'll be it's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to the whole experience. It's going to be weird. It's going to be kind of my first trip vacation thing as a married man.
Oh yeah, yeah. I keep on forgetting that.
Yeah, because it's you and I don't get to see each other very often. So like in person. So it's going to be really weird because you're coming down for the wedding in October. And then I'm going to turn around 6 months later and hang out with you for like a week again. It's going to be weird. And I'm going to, bring my fiance up there. She's never been to Chicago before. She, has no idea what Chicago's like. She's never had, she's never had a good hot dog. She's never had.
By the way, speaking of that,
all this shit, a good gyro, good Polish, whatever.
I think my sister actually wants to hang out with you guys.
White Castle, like all this food, basically, that we have to introduce her to. But yeah, so anyway, it's gonna be a good time. I'm looking forward to going back to Chicago and just kind of hanging out. And all in the good name of Star Wars. Now, Star Wars is going to be kind of a running theme for this episode of the show. It's going to be kind of a weirder episode. Look, this has been weighing too heavy on my heart for me to ignore it any longer. This is not a Star Wars centric podcast, but like the way that how should I word this? The way that Star Wars has been between the community, between the creators, between everybody, like Star Wars is in such a bad place right now. I feel like I have to address it on the show. Like, I feel like I have to publicly just kind of air out the laundry. It's like an itch in the back of my head that is not going to be scratched until I talk about it on this podcast with you. So what really got me heated, Todd, and you know this because I talked to you after it happened.
Mm-hmm.
What really kind of got the gears turning and really got the blood boiling is there was a report that came out less than a week ago, like a few days ago. There's a report that came out that said that it was like Hollywood Reporter or something like that, said that Lucasfilm has halted development on all of these Star Wars spin-off movies in reaction to the box office bomb that is Solo, right? And we can't pretend like Solo was a success. Like it was a failure, like in that way. I mean, you and I both love the movie. You can go back and listen to the episode of Shots about Solo if you want to, but you and I both really enjoyed the movie and think that it deserves, more success than it got, but it didn't. It's not a success. It's a failure. They stand to lose, I think, $50 million minimum is what they were saying.
Damn.
On the movie. The movie like had a super inflated budget. We'll get into all that. I really want to just kind of break down piece by piece what's going on with Star Wars right now. But um, because of that, in reaction to that, this report says that all of the standalone kind of spin-off movies have been put on hold, including the rumored like Kenobi movie, the rumored Boba Fett movie, all that stuff put on hold because Solo did not do well, right? And then, Lucas, and keep in mind, none of these things were like officially announced at any point. Lucas came out like the next day or two after that report came out and said, no, 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 like we still have, the spin-off movies are still in development, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry. But still, I don't like the dialogue going on around Star Wars right now. Like, I don't like the way the conversation is going about the fans, about the creators, about the product. Like, I feel like it's the confluence of so many things, and I feel like Star Wars has never been more divisive than it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's even including like going back to like the prequel era. Like even back then, like it wasn't like this. And it's really been since The Last Jedi, I think, is really when shit took off. And there's been a lot of people who have drawn corollaries to the release of The Last Jedi and sort of the how do I say this? What's the PC way of me saying this? The the political entitlements that people have found in themselves after the last presidential election in this country. The confluence of those two things kind of makes for a shitty, vitriolic fan base. Is the argument that I've seen floating around. But the thing that I posit, Todd, and I was talking to you about this, is that it's coming from both sides.
Oh, it
it's coming
definitely
from
is.
all sides. I think it's coming from everywhere. It's not just the fans. It's not just these people who are like hashtag boycott Solo, hashtag remake The Last Jedi and all that shit. Have you seen that shit?
Yeah, I have.
Oh my god. There are these people who want to remake The Last Jedi. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's so crazy to me. And here's the deal. I like The Last Jedi. As much as I have tried to not like that movie, I can't help it. I like The Last Jedi. And I've talked intelligently with people who don't like things about it.
Yeah.
And I've discussed that movie at length. Hell, even with you.
Yeah.
Like, even with you, like, you have your major problems with The Last Jedi.
But I still overall enjoy it. There's a difference.
Yeah, well, even more so than that, you have an open mind about it.
Yeah.
That I feel like a lot of people are refusing to have. A lot of people will not accept that, hey, like it or hate it, this is the canon now. This is what Star Wars is now, and that is regardless of what you think. Like, you can choose to, continue watching, you can choose to put it down, whatever you want. But what is not acceptable is, to go online and spew all this fucking filth that people are doing. I mean, it was not always like this, Like, even think back to even as recently as like Batman v Superman, right? Another very divisive movie, way shittier movie than The Last Jedi too, by the way.
That's some real shit.
Like, and it did not have this kind of reaction. You know what I mean? Like, it did not have. There was not like acid being spewed, And I'll touch on the creator side in a second. But the way that the fans are talking, the way that some of these people are positing they want to boycott Solo because they didn't like The Last Jedi. They want to do this, they want to do that, they want to bully some of the the actors and actresses, and they want to talk shit to Ryan Johnson and stuff like that. It's
Darth
like
Betrayus.
yeah, Darth Betrayus. Yeah. Like, that's crazy to me. You know what I mean? Why can't we just have an intelligent discourse about these movies? If you don't like the movie, that's fine. Like, it's fine if you don't like it. I'm happy to talk to anybody who didn't like The Last Jedi or whatever. Like, just like I'm happy to talk to anybody intelligently, about what I liked about it, what you might not have liked about it, blah blah blah. Like, let's talk. That's the best thing about Star Wars, is being able to talk about it and dissect it with each other. But like the way that some of these people are talking, and it's not all Star Wars fans. It's not even close to being all Star Wars fans.
It's a very vocal minority.
It's a very vocal minority, and it also, like, it bums me out because the fans like you and I and many many others are, the people who are rational people who, yeah, maybe we have our issues with this or that. I mean, and we just watched Rogue One. I have major major issues with Rogue One, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still really like that movie, and I
Same.
still have plenty of nice things to say about it, and will intelligently discuss my issues with it without saying, "Oh, fucking, Gareth Edwards should never be allowed to touch Star Wars again," and raped my childhood and this, that, and the other. Like, it's crazy to me. I can't, like, the shit that people are saying about, like, Ryan Johnson, Darth Betrayus, is crazy to me. Like, we're never gonna watch this new Ryan Johnson trilogy, blah blah blah. I literally saw, Todd, when because I've been very excited to go to Star Wars Celebration and whatnot in Chicago next year. So what I did was I went on YouTube and I looked up other people's, like, kind of reactions, maybe like some tips, because I've never been to Celebration before. I've been to several cons. It's actually gonna be cool because this is gonna be your first con.
Yep.
I've been to several cons before, but I've never been to anything on quite this scale. So I was looking up YouTube videos, just kind of trying to get, like, tips and tricks, what people recommend you bring to the show, like what the vibe's kind of like. And I saw multiple people, and I watched multiple YouTube videos from fans who are going to Celebration, and they were, like, saying shit like, they're kind of speculating on what celebrities might be there, and they were saying shit. I'm not kidding. They were saying shit like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy better not show her face, at at Celebration if she knows what's good for her, and blah blah blah.
It's fucking
And
ridiculous. Like,
let's vote to get her out.
well, here.
Anyway, what were you saying?
I just think that's fucking hilarious. Like, fuck.
Like, it's unprecedented. Like, it's unprecedented for a fandom to, like, to say, like, oh, the president of this company better not show her face at the Celebration, and we should vote her out of the company. And I'm like, what? What are you even talking about? What are you even talking about anymore? Are we still talking about spaceships and lightsabers? Like, it sounds to me like you got, like, a weird personal vendetta against the creators, and the people who are making the thing that you claim to love. I mean, it's crazy to me. And then, like, you turn around. I really want to touch on the creator side about it too, because like I said,
they're feeding the trolls at this point.
exactly that is the oldest rule in the book. If you go back to the early internet days, what is it? Don't feed the trolls, right? That's exactly what they're doing. They're sitting there and they're feeding the trolls. Ryan Johnson, calling people man babies.
I think we talked about this. Is like a lot of shit he's doing is like, you're gonna alienate the Star Wars fans that don't hate your movie, motherfucker.
Exactly. The people who, like, here's my perspective on it. If you have a legitimate problem with The Last Jedi, right? And you go on Twitter, and maybe you want to have an intelligent discussion about it. Maybe you want to say, hey, this is what I didn't like, blah, 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 and you're trying to talk about The Last Jedi. And then you have to see Ryan Johnson calling you a fucking man baby for not liking his movie.
Yep.
Like, how fucking dare you? How dare you lump all of the Star Wars fans together just because, like, look, I'm sorry. When you create a movie that big, or if you or whatever, you've got a big old target on your back, and it is your job to ignore that hate. Obviously it hurts, and obviously it's hard, but that is the cross that you kind of have to bear. It kind of comes with the territory. And it does not look good on you when you're punching back. You know, there's no, it does no good. It does no good to punch back to these people who are punching at you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, there are people like, and it's been going around. There are a lot of Star Wars writers. One of the writers for the comic books, he said some kind of, he made some kind of comments on Twitter that said like help me, I've fallen into a well of shitty Star Wars fans or something like that.
No, Lord.
Just because they didn't like his comic or something like. I mean,
what's his comic like?
he does one of the, I don't remember. He has one of the Marvel comics. I want to say maybe he did like the new Lando comic or something like that.
Okay.
I think there was something in there that like people didn't like, and yeah, he took to Twitter calling Star Wars fans shitty and stuff like that.
That's the thing. Like nowadays, people can't actually have like intelligent criticisms on anything.
Yeah. Yeah, and the ones they do get lumped in with the ones that don't.
Yeah, exactly.
And the media is taking that and running with it and creating this narrative of like, oh, Star Wars, and I'm seeing headlines all over the place. Oh, Star Wars is broken. Star Wars fandom is broken. It's like, it's not broken. I mean, look, the fandom itself is not broken. It's just all of this back and forth between the vocal minority, the creators, and now the media.
And the thing with the vocal minority, that vocal minority is very large because the Star Wars fandom is very large.
Well, exactly. I mean, it's like yeah, when you have something that is as massive as Star. I mean, you think about it. Star Wars, for my money, is the single biggest fiction anything of the past 100+ years.
Yeah.
Like, it's huge. It's bigger than, you can say what you want about, there's like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. I say Star Wars is bigger than both of them, I mean, it's huge. And yeah, the vocal minority of a fan base that big is really fucking big, So, but the media is taking the kind of the back and forth between the creators and the fans, and they're eating it up. And I'm seeing headlines all over the place. Star Wars fandom is broken, and Star Wars fans broke their own fandom, and blah blah blah. I mean, like, it's creating this narrative where people see that and they don't want to go to Solo. Why would they? You know what I mean? And that's another thing that I kind of want to talk about is Solo in general and sort of why it failed and why I think that Lucas shouldn't really read anything into it, because I think that a lot of it is their fault, quite frankly. I think that the movie was released at the wrong time.
Oh, I think we said that like when we first heard the release date, we're like, are they just shitting this thing out right now?
Well, it was released at the wrong time. It was released, not even like 6 months after The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
A very divisive movie. Like, you need time to process The Last Jedi, dude. I still don't think I've processed The Last Jedi. Honestly. And I've seen that movie, 6 or 7 times since it came out. I still don't think I've processed it fully.
Yeah.
And I still don't know exactly how I feel about that movie. And you're gonna come out with the standalone Han Solo movie 6 months later, independent of the fact that you're releasing it right after Avengers Infinity War, like the biggest movie of all time.
Yep.
And, right alongside like Deadpool and shit like that. I mean, that's so stupid. Like, why couldn't you just leave it in December? Which has been the space that Star Wars has happily occupied.
I'm gonna make a comparison. It's a video game comparison. It's like what EA did with Titanfall 2.
Right.
It's like setting it up against like big ass, like what is it? What did they set it up against? It was basically came out around the same time as Battlefield and Call of Duty.
Yeah, it was like Battlefield 1 released like a week later. And I think Call of Duty released the week before.
Yeah, it's just like you set that game up for fucking failure.
Right. Yeah, you really did. I mean, you put Solo up to bat, and I understand the significance of having it on, Memorial Day and blah, 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 and whatever. You should have left it where it was. If that movie had been... Because here's the thing. that makes it feel like it's not its own thing. Because, with Rogue One coming out a full year after The Force Awakens,
Mm-hmm.
we had time to miss it. And we had time to be like, oh shit, this is a new, big, important Star Wars movie, you know? And Solo didn't super feel that way because it released so quickly, and I feel like they didn't market it super well either.
That
You know,
is, yeah, that's some real shit.
I wasn't really seeing too many TV spots for it or anything like that. I mean, you know,
Like, how many trailers
I,
did we end up getting? Like, what, two?
I think there was the Super Bowl trailer, which, and here's another, keep that in mind. The first, I think, proper trailer for it
Was
was
at the
during the
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl
Yeah.
in February when the movie came out in May.
Ugh.
Like, that's nuts to me. The first proper trailer is going to come out 3 months before the movie comes out, and you're going to be shocked when it doesn't do well. Like, that's nuts. And, the release timing was all fucked up. They should have kept it in December. And then here's another thing, another major reason why this movie didn't do well. Probably the number one reason why it didn't do well, because the movie made a lot of money. It made like $350 million. That's not a small amount of money. Here's the problem. The problem is the movie's budget was massively inflated because they had to reshoot like almost all of it. Like Ron Howard, coming on after Phil Lord and Chris Miller left, had to literally reshoot like 70% of the fucking movie.
Did he really have to reshoot that much?
Yeah.
Damn.
He literally had to reshoot. Let me break this down for you. So I was telling you this actually, because I got the Art of Solo, a Star Wars storybook. Great book, by the way, and it's fun to like flip through and look at the concept art and read the kind of origin stories and blah 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 of the concepts in the movie. The character of Dryden Voss, kind of the enemy, villain of the movie, if there is one, was originally going to be a fully CG motion captured character, and they had to scrap it because they had to make him, Paul Bettany, basically as a human, because they didn't have the time. They didn't have the time to animate that character anymore.
Damn.
Because they had to reshoot everything, and the money that they had spent animating that character until that point just flushed down the fucking toilet, and that's just one of many things that had to get scrapped or severely altered to make that movie work. So it's a miracle that Solo came out and is as good as it is, quite frankly. And what Disney should have done is they should have, when they brought Ron Howard on, they should have said, hey, you're going to have to reshoot a lot of this thing. There's going to be a lot of money dumped into it. I think releasing it in December would have really helped. I really do. And it would have been isolated at that point. I think another reason they released it so early is because they wanted to take it to Cannes Film Festival for some fucking reason. And Ron Howard not only coming in, reshooting 70% of the movie, having to restructure the entirety of the movie, recast the villain, blah blah blah. They still hit the original Memorial Day date. That was the original date. It never got pushed. That was the original date that they announced for it.
Yeah.
And if you remember back when I actually thought that they were going to push it.
Yeah.
When they first announced it. When they first announced the movie with that date, I was like, that's weird. Star Wars comes out in December. Force Awakens came out in December. Rogue One came out in December. Last Jedi came out in December. And now you're going to tell me that Solo's coming out in May?
Yeah,
No.
I think I think I actually thought the same thing because it was just like, okay then, like why?
Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. But it did, and I mean, props to Ron Howard for making that happen. Let me give you a little bit of insight. I was actually listening to a podcast. I think it was the Empire Online podcast that Ron Howard appeared on, and he appeared on it before the movie had come out, or the episode was recorded before the movie had come out, so he didn't know how fans were going to react to the movie. And it's actually quite sad to listen to because he's like, oh, like, there's stuff in place for sequels. Well, you guys need to go out and tell Lucas that you want more of this if you want, make this movie do well, kind of thing. And obviously, that
It's a
didn't
damn
happen.
shame because like I was ready for sequels after watching that movie.
So was I. I was totally ready. And, I'm going to issue a quick spoiler alert. The appearance of Maul at the end of the movie, literally in the script, and I think I told you this, Ron Howard revealed that they didn't even have that plan in place at all. At the end of the script, when Ron Howard's reading it, literally just says the big boss. It doesn't say Maul, it doesn't say Jabba. They had no fucking plan in place. And that I think extends to and yet another complicated. I mean, Star Wars is so fucking complicated right now, dude. Star Wars right now is complicated. Yet another I think chink in the Star Wars armor right now is the fact that it feels like Lucasfilm has no plan. Like
Yeah.
it feels to me like Lucasfilm has no plan. I feel like JJ probably had a bit of a plan when he was, coming up with The Force Awakens and the characters and the plot beats. He probably knew where he wanted it to go, right? But, it doesn't feel like Lucasfilm knew.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they're kind of like letting people take cracks at this story and just kind of adjusting the trajectory.
Well, that's I kind of like I do want to see because it's JJ taking over for 9, right?
Yes.
So I do want to see what he's gonna do with what Johnson has done.
Right.
So that'll be interesting.
And JJ has gone on record saying that the script for 9 is going to tie in the entirety of the saga.
Okay.
Like 9 is going to incorporate elements from the entire saga and tie it all together, right? That's what he says. And I'm curious as to how he's going to do that. And the latest rumors, literally just today, it was reported by somebody. And there's a new fucking Star Wars rumor every day of the week. If you keep your finger on the pulse enough, you're going to read something new about Star Wars literally every day. But the latest rumor, take this with a massive grain of salt because we don't know. But the latest rumor is that the Kenobi movie is scrapped and that Ewan McGregor is going to appear in episode 9 as Force Ghost Obi-Wan, which is weird if that's true.
But why though?
Well, he had that voice line in Force Awakens.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Here's what's weird about that to me, though. The fact that we've already seen, like, Alec Guinness Force Ghost Obi-Wan. So you're telling me now that you can, like, make your Force Ghost just, like, look like however you want?
I mean, unless they just make him, like, look like Alec Guinness. Like, make him look like...
That's weird, too, though.
I know, it's weird.
There's no version of that that's not weird. That's why I'm almost, like, feeling like that's a little bit of a... And the reason that people were thinking that were reporting that these spin-off movies were scrapped is because the ideology at Lucas from what these people were reporting was that if a movie about Han Solo can't do well, how is a movie about Obi-Wan Kenobi going to do well? You know what I mean?
Like, I know me and you would have loved that shit.
Oh, you and I love the character of Obi-Wan, and we would die to see a Kenobi movie, but he is not. He did that. The name Obi-Wan Kenobi does not carry the same weight as the name Han Solo.
Yeah. Even I was just that. Yeah.
That's just a fact. I mean, like, if you took our moms and you said those two names, they might know Han Solo.
Yeah. That's a good pull.
So that's kind of the ideology, but it's weird though because it's just like, well, okay, the reason it didn't do well is like your fault. It's not because Han Solo isn't a good character. And it's not even because Solo's a bad movie, because it's not.
It's not. It's better than it had any right to be.
The word of mouth coming out of Solo is very strong. If you go on the Star Wars subreddit, it is filled with people saying, "Yeah, you know what? I decided to go see Solo, and it was actually really good."
Mm-hmm.
The whole thing is a bummer, and I don't like that we can't just talk about Star Wars anymore. I don't like that it has to be venom coming from every side. It has to be just shitting all over each other. Like, I don't like that. It has to be creators shitting on fans. It has to be fans shitting on creators. It has to be the media profiting off of all of that. And that bad media feeds into the movies that we all
Yeah.
are going to go and see. The bad media, that's what the people like our moms pick up on, and that's like the parents and the casual fans that are going to these movies. They read that shit and they're like, oh, I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
They read about Solo's troubled development. They read about the fact that fans are wanting to boycott it. And they're like, why the fuck would I want to see that movie? Why would I want to go see Solo as a casual fan when all I'm reading about is it's got troubled development, even the fans are wanting to boycott it? Why the fuck would I want to go see that movie? you know? It's a bummer, dude. It's a huge bummer. And like everybody involved with Star Wars, from the vocal minority of the fans to the creators, like that's what's killing it.
Yeah, it's
that's
just a very toxic relationship right now.
It's a really shitty, toxic relationship, and I want that dialogue to end. I want that dialogue to end. I want the creators to rise above and stop punching back, and I want the other guys to stop punching. Let's just have intelligent discussion about the thing that we all love. We all love Star Wars, and we can talk about Star Wars in a much better way, from all angles. And to that end, I wanted to end this kind of discussion. Unless I know this was a very me-dominated discussion, but like I said, it's been kind of weighing heavy on my heart for a while now, and the fact that all this discourse is putting the movies that we want to see at risk, the Kenobis, the Boba Fetts, you know what I mean? Like that stuff's probably not happening anymore because of all this shit.
And
for all we know.
That honestly just depresses the hell out of me. Like
the landscape of Star Wars is so fluid for so many reasons, and it's so complicated. And this dialogue that's happening right now is not making it any better. We need to move on past it. We need to. There needs to be positivity in Star Wars again. So and in my own little insignificant way. For the next month, I'm going to be streaming Star Wars games, full playthroughs of Star Wars games on the Nerd Bourbon Twitch channel. I don't really have a name for it. I thought about having a name for it, and then the first name I had was something that already fucking existed.
What was it?
So Star Wars does like a charity collaboration with UNICEF called Force for Change. And I was thinking of incorporating the word force, and I was like, maybe force for good or force for change. Yeah, I like force for change. Let me Google that real quick and see if that's...
There's a reason you liked it. You've heard it before.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what happened was I had, just from osmosis, I had read that before or heard of it before, and I was like, oh yeah, that's good. So I Google it, and I see that, of course, not only is it taken, but it's taken by Star Wars.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's gonna have a name.
I don't think it needs a name, man. It's just fucking play some Star Wars, have a good time.
And that's really what it's been. I hopefully by the time you're listening to this, the videos will be starting to pop up on YouTube. But I've been playing Star Wars Bounty Hunter to start off, doing a full playthrough of that, and that's been a fucking experience.
That's actually something I want to talk about. Are you just gonna be exporting them, or do you want me to grab them and like do some shit?
You can export them if you want to. It doesn't matter.
I mean, because honestly, we can just do what I've been doing with the Twitch and just export them straight from Twitch.
That's fine. Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically, it's just chill. Play some Star Wars games for a couple hours. Talk about Star Wars in a positive light. We had actually just earlier today, at the time of this recording, I had like 2 hours to kill before I knew you would be waking up and we would, jump on here to record the main show. I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to play some more Bounty Hunter. So I threw up the link on Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, and I jumped on. I started playing Bounty Hunter, and our mutual friend Tyler jumped in.
I was technically there.
You were there in spirit?
No, I was watching in a haze of sleep.
But Tyler and I just, like, he was in chat, and we were just chilling, just talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
Talking about the shitty game I was playing, but also talking about Star Wars. And it was just fun. Like, that's that's what I want to get back to. I want this episode of the podcast, this right here, right now, to be the last time that I talk about Star Wars like this. I don't want to talk about Star Wars like this
So
anymore.
I actually want to jump in on doing my own Star Wars stream. Actually,
Ooh, okay. This is the first I've heard about this.
I was thinking about it when you were bringing it up on Facebook. I mean, you were messaging me on Facebook and shit, telling me about it. I might do KOTOR.
Oh shit. That'd be cool.
I mean, I have it on Steam, so.
Yeah, I have it on Steam too. If I had a capture card, that would definitely be one of the ones I'm playing. Yeah, that'd be great, dude.
Yeah, like
That'd be a lot of
it'd be actually cool if you were like in on it. We were just sitting there talking, like actually
Oh, yeah.
on like Discord or Skype or whatever. And
I'm down. We
yeah,
can definitely make that happen. Yeah, that would be fun. That's a long game though, dude.
dude, maybe it'll extend past this month. I don't give a shit.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds good. But no, Star Wars Bounty Hunter. I've got Jedi Starfighter and Super Star Wars and Star Wars Racer Revenge and stuff like that to play. So it's just Battlefront 2. I'm sure you and I will play on stream at some point. But just wanted to take the time to set it aside and do something good in the name of Star Wars. Create a chill environment where you can just watch us play Star Wars games and just chill out with us and talk about Star Wars and chat with us. Like Tyler and I were doing. We were just sitting there. Tyler and I were just like spitballing, like, oh my god, it would be so cool to see them do this with the Star Wars video game license, or oh my god, like, wouldn't it be cool if they did this with Boba Fett, or man, like Jango Fett's so cool, or what,
It's actually you actually said it. I think it was like your original stream in the middle of the night when I was like falling asleep to your sultry tones. Uh, like this, like, it's in a weird way that game makes you think of like what 1313 could have been.
Yes, yes,
Like that shit still hurts me. Like God,
very much so. My heart grieves for the Star Wars video game license right now. That's another topic for another time, Todd.
oh, it definitely is.
But we've got these streams going on. I apologize at the structure to it. I apologize that it's not like I'm not gonna produce like a schedule. You know what I mean? It's just gonna be kind of catch as catch can. Whenever I get a couple free hours to stream, I'm gonna do it.
That's the thing with the Twitch shit in like the long run. It's just like whenever the hell we have time to do it.
Pretty much. I mean, shit. We basically, it's like we just did the other night with Sea of Thieves. We just popped in,
Yeah, it's like, hey,
did
let's stream
some
it.
Sea of Thieves. Fuck it.
Yeah, it's like, would it be nice if we had a legitimate schedule? But that's a pain in the ass. Like I can't, I can't promise that.
I just can't do that.
Like,
I don't
I
have
can't
the time.
promise that. I'm too busy with other shit.
I've got way too much shit going on in my life. I cannot stick to any sort of schedule. But what I can do for you reliably is, post on Facebook and Twitter when we're going live to play some Star Wars games. So, and just like I said, I just want to do something good in the name of Star Wars. I want to create that environment. I want to create that chill, basically a Star Wars chat room where we can just relax and just talk about Star Wars in a positive light. So, I don't know. That's the idea. Was there anything else you wanted to add to the conversation before we wrapped it up?
It's not Star Wars related, but I do want to like shout this out on the podcast. Is
Okay.
mutual friend Tyler, aka Mr. Crow on Twitch and whatever that shit. But me and him are actually going to be doing a co-op stream. That's not the Orange Scene and Smoke. We're kind of taking a break on that, honestly.
Yeah, because you guys had the
It's just the whole
bullshit with all
Ember
the
issue is
embers.
annoying, and like,
Yeah.
on one of these days, I'm going to sit there and just farm out like a shit ton of embers or something. But we are actually going to be doing a co-op The Forest stream.
Okay.
And you ever heard of The Forest?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I think I've seen like some
So it's
gameplay of it.
the best way to doing it. It's basically like a survival, like one of those survival games, like like the building and all that shit. But it's
Right.
got a really it's got a horror aspect to it.
Right.
Dude, I'm gonna be completely honest. We jumped in and like we didn't stream, but we jumped in for like 10 minutes of we didn't do shit. That was some of the most terrifying shit I've done in a while. Like I'm telling you, like you start in a plane crash. I want to shout this out. Dude, we were sitting there just figuring shit out. We didn't look up anything. We're like just trying to figure out how to build certain things. I made like a slingshot. I was like, oh, cool. But then it got night. It got dark.
Oh, Lord.
And it got bad. It got real bad. The audio design is bad, like good, like a good bad.
Good in a bad way.
Because it's like,
Or
dude,
bad in a good way.
all you hear is a screech. You're just like, I'm like, what the? We were talking, having a good time. We both went silent. We're like, oh shit, what the fuck was that? And
Oh,
we both,
God.
and both of us were like, we need to get back in the plane. We need to get back the fuck in the plane now. Dude, we're trying to just desperately jump into the plane. Desperately. And like, it was like a pain in the ass. We got attacked by 3 fucking, like, I don't know what the fuck they are. Dude, we're standing in the back of the plane with our axes out, like, just fucking like, oh shit. Oh shit.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that'll be a thing. That'll probably be a pretty long series because there is a story to that game. I do know that, but I don't know how far we're gonna go into that. It is just gonna be maybe just a chill, like me and him just surviving on this fucking island. But
Well, it's funny because we've been playing a lot of those, like, here lately. The streams have been a lot of games of that type.
yeah,
You know, like those kind of more open-ended games. You know.
like Sea of Thieves, I have jumped in with him actually playing Ark now. Like I actually have played Ark before. The only issue with that is I have a computer that can run it pretty well.
Right.
But
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot. We've been streaming a lot. It was funny. Last month we got, and it's not saying much for people who are like professional Twitch
not at all.
streamers.
But like for people like me and you, we don't stream like that.
Yeah, we got like an achievement on Twitch where there was like 30 hours streaming in 30 days or something like that. So I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a little bit of an accomplishment. Like, cause Twitch is again just another way to get content out to people. Like, our fans, our many fans.
Yeah, and it's fun. I like doing Twitch. I like putting videos out there.
I think we
streaming.
both said this is like even if we got like huge, I'd still joke that we had no fans.
Even if we had like thousands of viewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just fun. It's just I like doing it. I like chilling and just streaming, playing games, talking, hanging out. It's a good time.
Yeah,
And it
always
makes
is.
good content.
Yeah.
Anyway, you got anything else you want to add before we put a bow on this?
I think that's about it, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll catch you next week. May the force be with you always.
See ya.